Hi everyone, happy Friday. I am going to show a demo today that you can do in your classroom with your students, and it has to do with color. We're still talking about color, and it also has to do with leaves because it's that time of the year. We're in fall, in the autumn season, and we can take a look around outside. I'm sure some of you have seen colorful leaves on the ground, or if you look around on your bus ride home today is a good time to do it. You can take a look out the window and look at the trees and see if you notice any leaves changing. So I've got a couple of different colors right here. I've got this really neat red color. Not sure if you can see it, but it's a really bright red and some dark red. I've got a leaf with all different colors on it that's brown with a little bit of red, yellow, and green, and I have these orangey yellow leaves. So I'm going to move them off to the side. And here's what you'll need today. So if you want to stop the video and gather materials and get everyone set up, you can. You will need some crayons, and it's okay if each student only has one or two, but I want you to look for cool colors in your crayons. So anything that is blue or green or purple or anything kind of in between. So I picked a few colors out there. So we're looking for cool color crayons. And then you will also need some watercolor paints and some water and a brush for each student. Depending on what materials you have, if you do this in chunks to keep the materials separate from each student, that's fine too. So feel free to pause the video at this point if you want to gather everything. You can play one of the other videos that I have available for today while you're gathering materials, however you would like to do it. That's up to you. So once you get your materials and you're all ready to go, I'm going to take one of these leaves and really kind of look at it closely. I want to observe, which means I want to look at my leaf and kind of act like a scientist for a minute. What am I seeing? What am I maybe even hearing or feeling? So this leaf is really smooth. It's got a stem at the bottom and a line down the middle. This leaf is kind of shaped like an eye. If I turned it sideways, it kind of looks like an eye. There are also lots of little lines or veins in the leaf, and that's how all the nutrients get to all parts of the leaf. If I flip it over, I can see more of that on the back. So hopefully everyone will see that, and hopefully it's in focus as well so that you can see it. So I told everyone to get cool colored crayons, even though there are not a lot of cool colors in my leaves right now. My leaves are warm colors. We're going to use the paint for that part. You're going to draw some leaves today. And tracers are helpful, but I really want everyone to try and draw some leaves that they maybe have seen before in real life. If your teacher wants to pull up pictures of leaves, because I'm sure you've been talking about leaves, possibly right around now this time of year, you can pull up some pictures on the internet, or maybe you even have a book or some other way of looking at leaves. And if I was with you guys in person right now, I might bring some leaves with me to share. So I'm just kind of drawing what I see. I noticed that the edge has what's called a sawtooth, which is kind of fun. It's like this little rigid, like zigzaggy kind of line, wavy line. I did the line down the middle. I picked purple for the veins in that leaf. Then I'm going to look at this leaf right here, and I'm going to draw. I don't have to draw exactly what the leaf looks like. I'm not worried about every little detail, but I'm kind of picking out the main parts. So again, I drew my stem down the middle, and then I'm looking at the two veins that are on the side here before I draw the outline of my leaf. This leaf is really fun. It kind of looks like waves in the ocean. And if you don't get it drawn exactly right, that's okay. I want you to draw what you see. And if it's not exact, that's okay. If it goes off the page like mine just did, that's okay too. So I'm just adding a few more details. We're almost ready for some paint. The technique that we're using right now has a special name. It is called wax resist. The wax part of this project comes from the crayons, and I'm just drawing some more lines while I'm talking. The resist part also has to do with the wax. In just a minute, I'm going to put paint over top of my wax from my crayons. And there's something sort of magical that happens. If you've had me before, you may have done a project like this. We're also using those warm colors and cool colors together. So you can draw different leaves on your paper. Now what I'm doing is just getting my brush wet. It's taking a dip in my little water bath here. I'm wiping off some of the extra water. I'm going to get my paint ready right here. And since we used cool colors with our crayons, green, blue, and purple, now we're going to switch to warm colors. So we're going to use red and orange and yellow. So I think what I'll do to make it stand out first is to use some orange. I am going to twirl my brush in my paint because you want to get a good amount of paint on your brush. You only want to use one color at a time so we don't mix our colors in the paint tray. And then you're going to just go ahead and paint with your watercolor. And if you take a look at my leaf, you might notice that when I paint over the wax, the color still stands out. The wax is blocking the water and the paint, so it's resisting the water and the paint. That's why it's called wax resist. I am going to add another little bit of red this time. And once my paper's wet, it's kind of fun to try this. I'm just going to draw with red paint down the middle, and hopefully a little bit of that will blend in just a moment, which is pretty fun. So I'm going to keep going with my red. Ooh, that stands out so nice. Very cool. I hope everyone gets a chance to try this today or sometime soon because it's a really fun little project. You can use wax resist with crayons and watercolor for other projects. You don't just have to do it with leaves, but it's a fun one. So right now I'm doing that color blending where I'm adding some yellow next to my red. And I am just using computer paper. So sometimes it doesn't blend as nicely as I would like it to, but it still looks really cool. So I'm going to go back in and just add a little more red to make it blend. So when you're painting today, challenge yourself. Try to only use the warm colors, red, orange, and yellow with paint. And then when you're working with your crayons, you're using cool colors. And then you get these really interesting combinations of colors that stand out against each other. If you guys get something made today, I would love to see it. If you have a chance to send it to me, it's ksowers@ciu20.org. I'll write it down here for everyone to see. KSAUERS. I ran out of room at ciu20.org. So I'll just leave that there for a second. If you get a chance to send your image of your work, I would love to see it. I hope everyone enjoys their art class today, and I hope you have a good weekend. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.